Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another. Let me get these all figured out here. There we go. Sooner or later, I'll push the right buttons.
Making me
Paranormal
a
chat here.
tiny.
Yeah, did that little tiny guy going on out there. So,
Yeah.
welcome. Hey, before we get going, I just want to make sure I thank everybody for donating to the birthday deal we had going on. We closed it off last Friday. We announced all the winners and everything, and it was great. We're at $8,230, and I think that's going to go up another 1,000. So we'll actually end up donating $9,230 from that gig,
Wow.
yeah, to Lost Limbs Foundation.
That's
So
insane.
thanks
Thank you
everybody
guys.
for jumping in
Yes.
and doing that. It was great.
Yes.
We
Thank
really
you, Robin,
appreciate the
for
help.
and thank you for doing the birthday fundraiser yet again this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
was glad to
awesome.
see it just going, and it's gotten bigger and bigger each year. It seems like so. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe next year we'll come close to hitting 10 grand.
The bad thing is now my birthday's in May, so I'm gonna have to try to actually top you somehow, even if it's like one penny. I have to make an attempt to it because yeah, just got to do
Hey,
it.
you got to have goals. So
Yeah.
I think this works out really well because it's December and everybody's looking to make donations in December for for Christmas and things like that. And
Yeah.
that we've had a lot of prizes and all things we've given away,
Yeah.
investigations and all. So that helps a bunch too. And I
Thankfully,
think that
yeah,
makes
to
a big
everybody that's
difference.
helped us out.
Yeah. So I think that makes a big difference with everything. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been great. Appreciate everybody doing it. So
Yep.
um I hate to bring this up, but I haven't talked to you today. Did the plumber guy show up?
Hey, you know what? I had luck. Yes, it was fixed, and I'm going to share some more because I mean,
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to explain it to you, but yeah, I've got a little bit of a story to tell once we bring Jason in.
Uh
So
oh.
yeah, but yeah, everything's fixed now, so there
Sweet.
is flow. Yeah,
Good deal. So
yeah, yeah.
well,
Finally,
I think we got a lot of people probably wanting to hear Jason. So I think we gotta
yeah.
just bring him in and let's get
Let,
going.
let's bring him in.
Hey, hey,
There he is. Good
What's
evening,
going
sir.
on?
not much, but I know if it was a plumbing job and I did it, it'd be fixed.
Ah, let me tell you, I'll make it quick. This is not anybody that's tuning in. This is no joke. Of all the times, now we've had you scheduled for what a month and a half, probably.
Yeah.
Of all the times this week, though over the weekend and everything, we had an issue here at Rhodes Hotel with plumbing, and I had to call in Rotor Rooter to come in and fix things. Of course, there was a few issues. They had to leave and come back because they couldn't get it taken care of at the moment. But today they came in and they fixed it, and I thought, you know what? Of all the days, I have to share this with you. Um,
Should I even ask what they had to fix or?
You know what? Actually, believe it or not, like I thought the issue was inside here because there was a toilet that was messing up in the hotel, but yet other areas were okay.
Oh, yeah.
They ended up going out like there's an alley like two houses over. They ended up going all the way to the manhole like out there, and it was just shy of getting right to that, like is where
Oh,
they
yeah.
actually
Oh,
found it.
yeah.
So
They had to pretty much clear the main line, run it all the way out to the. So,
yeah,
yeah.
they ran it a pretty good ways.
The toilets here will be fine. It's the ones on the bottom of the line that are the ones that are going to be the worst. That's the old line when especially when I do plumbing jobs in like Pawtucket and everything. The guy at the top of the hill is fine, but the guy at the bottom of the hill before it hits the sewer main, he's
Yeah.
he's getting everybody else's stuff coming up in his house, and it's like, oh, you poor bastard. I
Yeah,
see a bunch of
yes.
people already posting. They just saw me a few minutes ago. Yes, I was just I did New Jersey Para Unity, and now I'm hanging out with these awesome guys as well. So thanks for
Yeah,
following.
yeah.
At least it wasn't an Orangeburg problem, Orangeburg pipe that had to be
Oh, that
replaced.
stuff just
Uh,
disintegrates. I mean, it's
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. Mike's not
yeah.
familiar with that, but that's the I
No,
had to
no, I'm
replace
not.
lines
It's
of that.
horrible. I mean, it falls apart. It's like old
Yeah,
rotten.
it goes from this to this. So
Mhm.
I'm just glad it's fixed because like I know the pipe outside was full and like we've got freezing temperatures coming in. I'm like, man, that's gonna freeze and then it's gonna crack and then it's going to cost, even more money or something. It'd be my luck. But yeah, I thought it's so crazy that happened of all times, like when you're on the show. So I was like,
my
I've
guys
got
at
to.
Roto, man, and a lot of people don't even think I work for 'em. I do, man. I've been with Roto for, my God, almost 20 years now. And
Wow.
before that, I worked for another plumbing company, and then I was a master tech for Subaru and Mitsubishi prior to that. But yeah, I've been with them forever. I mean, great company, and my son-in-law actually works for them now too.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. But I wanted to get that out of the way. Yeah. So anyway, what's been going on?
Just cranking along, man. Just it's made it through Christmas and my birthday and New Year's, and anyway, I did the Las Vegas event. I was able to meet a bunch of great people. Flew home the day after I got home. I came down with kidney stones, ended up in the hospital, and then 2 days after that, came down with the shingles. First time in my life I've ever had shingles, and let me tell you, shingles are the worst goddamn thing that could ever. It's like somebody holding a lit cigarette to your body.
Oh man.
And yeah, so finally on the mend, doing a lot better now, and here's to 2022.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys wrapped up now for your first season as far as filming? Or are you still filming
Yeah,
something?
first season's wrapped, and well, I can't even say first season, right? It's like season 13 technically for Ghost
True.
Hunter 14.
First
But
season underneath the back underneath your name, Ghost Hunters.
yep, and yep. So that started airing on New Year's Day. So and it's been really well received, and I mean we got some phenomenal cases coming up. So for the next 11 more weeks, new episodes every week.
Yeah, it was kind of fun watching you guys. The first show when you have Amy and Dustin back out with Adam, and then the guys from Destination Fear this last one. So
Yeah, Dakota and Tanner and them. I mean, they're phenomenal, and it's I look at them like when Steve and I first started. I mean, going back 30 years ago, it was of course you're a little more jitterish. I mean, you jump at more that's going on and stuff. It's not until you become a seasoned investigator that you really stop doing that. But I mean, they're just wonderful people. They really are. And Dakota and the team's welcome back anytime.
It's really cool that, you guys brought those guys in. I mean, bringing in someone from another show like that, which is, of course, you brought everybody in from the other episode. You brought Dustin and, Amy and Adam and everybody in from that. But I mean, it's cool seeing, the Destination Fear guys come in and do an episode with you guys. That was cool. I finally got to watch it yesterday. So
yeah, and you're gonna see a lot of that too. I mean, we got the Ghost Brothers come and join us on an episode. We've got you're gonna see a lot of familiar faces. I mean, we got Chris Williams on some episodes with us, and I mean, it was all about trying to bring back a lot of the familiar faces that so many people remember. I mean, you got to remember, Ghost Hunters. We started 2004. I think Chris came. I knew Chris years before we started Ghost Hunters, and she started investigating with us. It was like 2007, I think, somewhere around there, as well as Amy. So and Adam, we had him on Ghost Hunters Academy, and he won that. He was only supposed to be with us for like 6 episodes, and I ended up keeping him for like 6 years. So yeah. So I mean, and it's great to hang out with them all again.
Oh yeah, I bet.
now, thinking back 17 years or 18 years when you first got started, how did this whole thing come together with you guys getting this show? I mean, it was the first show basically on TV about the ghost hunting and all. How that actually happened?
First, let me say hi to everybody in the chat. Hello, everybody, and hello, Satori, my daughter. She just showed up in there, and Cody. So we've been investigating since the 90s, and I had helped out on a lot of other TV shows, MTV Sphere, Scariest Places on Earth, things like that. I'd been asked to do television. We just turned it down. We didn't want to be on TV. We did a New York Times article that came out in 2002 where John Leland, an author, came out with us, and we were able to debunk the haunting. And it went out. He printed it. It came out on Halloween Day, and it went viral. It went like 140 papers. It was a medication issue, and so we resolved that. Well, networks came out of the woodwork asking us to do shows again. And it wasn't until I sat down, we turned down like 4 or 5 different offers, and ended up meeting up with this guy, Craig Pelagian, never heard of him before. He owned this little company called Pilgrim Films, and we sat down. He goes, I don't care if you catch a ghost or not. He goes, I just want to send cameras with you and record what you do. And upon talking, we came up with the idea that if we didn't do it, somebody was going to, and how are they going to represent the field? So we agreed to do a season, figuring it wouldn't last more than that. And who would have thought that that show would become, that us and Mythbusters were the highest watched cable show for years. I mean, we took sci-fi from number like 60 or 70 to number one on Wednesday nights. And I mean, now we're talking 17 years later. It's like insane. I mean, I started filming Ghost Hunters. My twins had been born, my boys Austin and Logan, and they were 4 days old when I started filming Ghost Hunters, and now they graduate this year.
Wow.
So I mean, it's insane. It really is. It's amazing.
Did you ever think that you guys were going to pave the way? I mean, like, like all these shows and stuff that are out here now. I mean, you guys pretty much are the ones that started all this. I mean, with paranormal shows being on TV.
Yeah, I can't say I thought we were going to pave the way, because I really didn't think the show was going to take off the way it did. And Mike, you guys know me. I'm the most down to earth guy. It's, you wouldn't know that I was on television, because I'm the kind of guy I just hang out, do whatever. And it's just, I would have never thought that Ghost Hunters would have blown up like it did. I mean, we were airing in 170 countries. That's insane when you think about it. And to see how many shows have actually been able to come out since. I mean, yeah, we are accredited with, starting the genre of television. So it's amazing to see that. And with that, there's been some great shows that have come out, and there's been some not so great shows that have come out. So, but it's been an honor to be a key part of that.
Yeah, you guys have had some great people along the way, like you said, with different people that you're bringing back. I think that's what helps too. You can see you guys are more like a family, and I think that's what helps the show a lot.
Well, so we did Ghost Hunters, and then we felt like our time with sci-fi had just come to an end. I mean, we were the highest watched show on their network, but it was, they were airing 4 episodes here to try to promote another show right after us, and 4 episodes there. And we were called a tentpole show because we were the highest rated show. So they would try to put shows before us and after us, hoping that our viewers would tune in and stay tuned in. But it just seemed like it was like 4 episodes here. It just got old. So to the point where we just felt it was time to move on. So we took some time off. I mean, I started doing nationally syndicated radio from studio, and we were on 108 channels and everything else. So the opportunity came back. I was asked to do Ghost Hunters again, and they didn't want the whole team. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it without the people that I had worked with for so many years. They're family to me, and you said that the best. I mean, we are a family. I mean, I've known Steve for 30 years. I've known Sherry for 20 years. Tango, I mean, I've known him forever. He lived with me for years. And they wanted to cast people around me. Now, I know some of the people who were on the reboot. Brian, Rochelle, great people, good friends. I love them. And but I just didn't feel it was right. I didn't want to screw over the people that I spent so much time with. So I turned down doing that show. And we went and we talked with Travel Channel, and Travel Channel said, "You guys want to do a show? Do a show." And I said, "All right, but we want to do it our way." They're like, "Fine, do it." So we created Ghost Nation, where we could still be a team. And Ghost Hunters, Grant decided to accept to go do Ghost Hunters without the crew, and the show, yeah, it did okay, but it wasn't up to A&E's par, so A&E canceled the show. We were asked at one point, I guess Craig came back to Discovery and asked them if they were interested in it. Discovery said that they would take it if I took it with the team. So me, Steve, Dave, Sherry, we all sat around and we talked as a family, and we all agreed that, you know what, I started Ghost Hunters with Steve and everybody else, that we'd take it back, and as a crew. And so we agreed to do the show again. And I mean, here we are. I mean, the show's been doing phenomenal. People are really happy it's back with the crew, and we're happy it's back.
You kind of answered like one of the questions I had was compared to the sci-fi days, versus how the show is now. I was wondering like how much say the network has in it versus, you know what I mean? Like versus how things used to be
Yep.
and like how things are now, like comparable. Like, yeah.
Well, it's a great question. So when we agreed to do the show in the first place, part of the deal was that Sci-Fi had no say in the cases we did. They had no say in who was on the team, who was removed from the team, any of that. And but the thing Sci-Fi did have control of was what episodes aired. So I mean, for the first few years when we only filmed 13 to 15 episodes, they only had the episodes that we gave them. It was a couple of years later where we were doing 26 episodes a year plus a 6-hour live show. Sci-Fi decided that they would start. They would pick and choose. They're like, well, this one had paranormal activity, so we'll air this. This one didn't, so we won't. Which sucked. It sucked for us because we want people to see everything. So it seemed like they were only playing the ones that had paranormal activity. Which again, it's their network, whatever. But when we agreed to do the show again, it was one of those things where we have full control. It's we don't answer to anybody. The production company works with us and for us and so forth. I'm the executive producer on the show, and it's all about keeping it real. And I think that's the most important thing is keeping it real, because you know what, you hurt your credibility. You destroy yourself for good. I mean, production companies can go on and make other shows, but if you allow them to fake things or whatever and hurt your credibility, it destroys your reputation. I mean, you'll never do anything else. So it's always been about keeping it real, staying 100% true, and just not allowing anybody to ever tamper with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing right now is your credibility. Once it's gone, you're finished as far as the shows go, and
100%.
doing the convention circuits and things like that. Just nobody wants to come and talk to you. It's like, they just faking stuff. We're not going to go talk to them anymore.
No, and you guys have hung out with us, and you guys know just how real we are. I mean, this is just this is who we really are. We don't walk around like, oh wow, we're on TV, we're special. No, I mean, I'm still a plumber in Rhode Island. I mean, it's we're just average normal people. I mean, we go and we just hang out anywhere, we do whatever. I mean, it's just, and we're not going to change that.
Jeremy had a question for you. I think this is kind of good. You had to go way back probably here to answer that one.
Geez, well, first piece of equipment I ever used was common sense. But from that, so taps, we used to have it set up where we had a treasurer and everything else. So I mean, we'd meet up every week, and we'd all throw like $3, $5, $10 in every week, and we compile a certain amount of money, and then we'd vote as a group on what piece of equipment we'd get. And I mean, back then, geez, we were using beta cams, which I mean, they were like this, 40-pound cameras that you're trying to carry around and record activity with. So that was some of the first stuff. And then Sony finally came out with their IR cameras, zero lux cameras, which just revolutionized the investigation field. And then we started also looking into different equipment, security cameras and stuff, and seeing what we could modify, because people don't make equipment specifically for paranormal activity unless you got people like Sean now from Ghost Stop. But back then, so we would literally find equipment and try to modify it to suit our needs.
Yeah, like you said, in fact, Sean kind of jumped in there too. So, and yeah, he's a great guy.
There's Sean right there. I didn't even realize he was there. Sean,
Yeah.
Sean's great though. I mean, you want to talk about somebody who's constantly looking for a way to adapt equipment for this field. I mean, he's the guy to do it. And I mean, I've got stuff all over here from Sean. It's great. I mean, he's constantly sending me equipment, having me field test it and everything else, get back to him. Even my production guys, I had to send Sean a video at one point because my director of photography, Dirk, he's showing me this light thing he's got. He's like, this is the bomb. And I look at it, I'm like, my friend Sean made that, man. Look. So we made him a video and I had to send it to him. But he's on the forefront. He's always looking for new ideas and gadgets to build.
Yeah, in fact, just picked up a couple of his cameras recently.
Yeah, got a few things here in the cabinet here that we sell here at the hotel that people buy all the time when they come in.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to ask now. I forgot. Go ahead, Robin, if you got something.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember.
So you don't have that. You don't have that hat on. So
he's having a brain fart right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's something that seems like pops up on TV quite a bit lately.
Thoughts on possession and negative energies. I believe so. I don't look at it like there's demons and devils and so forth. I believe that there's negative type apparitions out there. I believe that there's negative spirits, things of that nature, and also human type spirits. As for possessions, it's tough because I've seen too many people fake it, but also you got to wonder if some people are just picking up on the negative energy off of something and just reacting to that. Not that they're actually being full blown possessed, but I mean, we've worked on cases where we've been sent in by the church to write up reports. Now, 99.9% of those turn out to be nothing. They turn out to be over medicated, under medicated, self medicated, over religious individuals. But then you do get the ones out there. I mean, somebody starts speaking a language that has been spoken in thousands of years. You got to question where they're getting that from. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're being possessed by a demon or anything of that nature, but there's definitely something there.
Have you guys done some episodes where you couldn't air it probably because people were basically faking stuff just to get on TV?
We did an episode where somebody did fake something, and I made sure it aired on TV. So it was it the Blue Moon Brewery or whatever? It was in.
Oh, that's down south in Georgia, or
oh no, not that one. It was the it was the one, the Blue Lady. It was out in like San Francisco or whatever, where they had built speakers into the ceiling and image in the mirror and the wall in the bathroom and a bunch of stuff like that. And Sci-Fi didn't want to air it. We fought with them and got them to air it because I mean, if somebody's going to fake something, and we just drove 3,000 miles to film it, then show the world that somebody's going to fake something.
Yep, call them out on it, let them see it, so it keeps other people from going there.
100%.
Yeah. So, like going back to this past episode that just aired, I have to ask. Hopefully, everybody's tuning in, just watched it. But
spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert!
Moss Beach Distillery. Thank you, Cody. Moss Beach Distillery.
Okay. So, do you regret opening the cell up? I know you remember that we kind of debated. It's like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I know exactly what.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, it was, we had that voice and it was one of those things. And I guess I really, I don't regret it. Because it's one of, I mean, if I'm able to get activity from it, great. And really, who's it going to harm? It's walking around a prison. But no, I don't regret that. I think I would do it again, same way. But I just wish that some of the stuff that I had wanted in the episode and I forgot to have them put in the episode drove me crazy. But like I raced Dakota and them on the golf carts. I whipped them. At one point, I got Dakota in one of the cells, and I had my foot on the back side of the door, and I made him think that he was locked in, that I couldn't get it open. He was getting all like, "Oh no, what's going on?" I don't know what I'm going to do. So, because we like to have fun while we investigate too. So
that's one of the things I always liked about the show too. Is like you show some of those moments where you guys are goofing off and everything. It's not all like, oh, we have here's what we're coming in to do, and no playing around. It's good to have those moments, where you guys just have fun.
Well, and I think that comes back to the whole being a family, being so close for so long, is that we can do that with one another. And it's not, you know, it's not being forced. It's not being, you know, we like to have fun. I mean, we bust on each other, we joke around. It's all about, you know, yeah, the investigation's important, but we do have those lighthearted moments, which I think also define us. It shows people that we're not always this, you know, this hardcore serious people.
One of the questions in the chat there was, is there any place that you actually felt like you've been drawn back to that you want to go back to investigate?
Oh, geez. Well, I mean, I loved Waverly Hills. You know, loved Stanley Hotel. I've been back to those places numerous times. St. Augustine Lighthouse. It's yeah. There's a lot of places that I definitely feel drawn to that I would go back and check out in a heartbeat.
So, what are some other things people can expect in the season that you can talk? I know, like, you're limited on what you can really talk about, but we know that other people are coming back in, like you said, Chris and others and stuff. What are some things like that people could look forward to in the season?
Well, we've got some great evidence that will be coming up in some of these future episodes. We've also got Meatloaf. Meatloaf comes and hangs out with us again in that case. And we're also testing out new equipment, new gadgets. We're constantly trying to implement new ideas, new thoughts, new concepts, and I think we're just trying to push the field forward. Where I think for quite a while the field's kind of sat stagnant. Where I felt like we were barreling ahead, and all of a sudden it just came to a point where it just sat stagnant for a while. But I think the field's starting to move ahead again now, and we're just happy to be playing a key part in it.
That kind of goes along with Sandy's question then, as far as setting standards.
I had the opportunity to meet 100 teams and watch their investigation methods. Do you feel original Ghost Hunters set a standard? I think I would have to let everybody else draw that conclusion. I feel like we did things our way. We're still doing things our way. And I'll have to let other investigators and the viewers draw the conclusion on if they think that we set the bar, if they think we set the standard. I should say, I never want to. We've never been the type, and you guys have known me. We've never been the type to puff up our chest and be like, "Yeah, we did this," because it's never been about that. We're just doing the best we can, and I mean, if we set a standard, great, But I would have to let everybody else, the viewers and all the others out there, decide on that one.
Yeah, I think all the shows that are on there give everybody an opportunity to look at different ways to investigate and try what works for you and try different things out, no matter who you're with and whatever you're watching.
And I've always said that, somebody's going to find something they like and dislike in every show. So, and if everybody was doing investigations the same way, you'd never be moving forward. So the fact that people they're investigating with their own methods and their own styles, I think is what helps push the field forward.
Yeah, one thing, like, I thought occasionally, social media, occasionally I've seen a few people, here and there complain about, the whole unity thing and all this stuff. And, it's my thoughts is like, you're just around the wrong people, because you see, just like with you guys, you got the show back, you bring Destination Fear guys in, you're bringing in Chris, you're bringing in Amy and Adam and all of them, to come in and do, some of the season and stuff with you guys. And then on top of that, my charity is heavily into the paranormal field. So there's a lot of support and everything from there. I think that maybe the people that's mentioning this stuff, just, they aren't seeing, maybe they're around the wrong people. You know what I mean? Because everything that I've ever seen is like, there's so much, different groups and stuff coming together and helping each other out, supporting each other and all that stuff.
Well, yeah. And I don't think we've ever really been, I think we've never really looked at it as a competition. I mean, bottom line, we all know that Ghost Hunters was the highest watched paranormal show ever. I mean, I think we all know that. I mean, it aired in 170 countries. I mean, it was us and MythBusters, the highest watched cable shows. So so again, it's never been about competition, and that's why it's I'm happy to have other people on, and the Ghost Brothers, Destination Fear, Amy and Adam and stuff, because I'm not looking at them like, oh, I don't want them to do better than us, because it's not about that. It's more just about, hey, we're all here working together, trying to figure out what's going on, and it takes us all to do that.
Yep. Same goals.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not concerned that I might not get another season or anything. It is what it is. I'll take things day by day, but I'm just here to try to do the best I can with as many people as I can.
Now, will you guys be doing anything as far as like going on other shows?
The possibility is always there. Right now, my hands are pretty full with Ghost Hunters and some other stuff, but I mean, I'd be more than happy to tag along on another show and do things my way on another show as they do theirs. And it's like even with the Destination Fear guys and stuff. I blatantly told them, "You're here not to investigate like we do. You're here to investigate the way you want to investigate, and we'll investigate the way we want to investigate. So don't change it up because you're here. Still be yourself. It's always about keeping it real."
Yeah, I thought
Which
that was cool how they kind of reached out to you guys and was like, "Can we spend the night
Yeah.
in the
Fine,
prison?
you guys want to spend the night? Fine. It's
Yeah, knock yourself out, right?"
yeah, but I'm one of those
Jason's like,
guys where I'm
I'm
like,
going to the hotel.
I'm one of those guys that was like, I'm in my 40s. The least thing I'm going to do is sleep on a hard floor in an old jail. No, you guys can spend the night. I mean, you're in your 20s. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah,
Yep, that's what I thought too when I watched that, because you can kind of see it in your guys' faces. They're like, "Yeah, you guys do that. We're going back to the hotel and sleep in a nice, comfortable bed."
I see somebody say, "Would you sleep alone on Destination Fear?" Absolutely. I mean, I go into these places alone. I've never been one of those guys to run out of a location or to let something scare me to that point. So yeah, I'm more than happy to stay anywhere. I mean, you tell me nobody will stay at this place 'cause it's too haunted. Count me in. I'll do it. So,
Mhm. Yeah, that's where I've always been too. And I wanted to spend the basement, or I was going to spend the night in the basement at the rectory, Stevensville Rectory. And I had a friend of mine who's a psychic with it. She's just like just begged me not to do it because she said there's problems down there. I'm like, I don't see those problems. Maybe you do. I don't see them, but I didn't, because she said she's gonna be up all night. But yeah, I'm one of those too. Go in the spot that nobody wants to go to.
yeah, I need to suggest a newbie to ghost hunting, get into it. Friend and I do our house. Uh, Honestly, it's one of those things. One day at a time. It's let's see, my friends do, but only at our houses. Try getting the word out. I mean, you can always try to connect with local groups in your area that might also have cases to tag along on those cases. I mean, it's all about working together and expanding your reach. You know, create a website. Try to let as many people out there know that you're out there to help.
Yeah, if you're looking for places to go because you're not familiar with it, you can go to some of the publics, like we have 'em at Ashmore and we have 'em at Rhodes Hotel, where we only limit like 10 or 12 people. That's it. We don't have 50 or 100 people come in, and you'll learn more there because we usually bring a couple of people with us that have had some experiences or have experience in ghost hunting and have equipment and all. So, especially if you're new, maybe hit up some of those places and see if they've got available to you too, Fred.
while I'm thinking about this now, I always ask this question and I usually forget about it. So I'm going to go ahead and ask it now while it's at the top of my mind here. If you could go to investigate any location in the world, where would you go?
Any location, I'd probably go to the Colosseum in Rome.
Okay.
I mean, the amount of death and so forth that happened there. First off, I want to see the place. It's on my bucket list. But of course, the amount of people who lost their lives there and the way, there's got to be something still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list.
Haven't heard that one yet. That's a good one.
Now you have.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one to go to for sure.
Definitely.
Any thoughts on that?
There's no plans to go back to Eastern State right now. I mean, I would love to. I've been there about a dozen times. I mean, it's a really interesting location. I love it there. So
Yeah, I had a couple people say ask me if you would come back to Ashmore Estates at some point, but nothing in the plans right now anyway. But
yeah,
it'd be kind of fun.
somebody just asked, "Have you ever been to Missouri State Pen?" I guess you didn't see me
Yeah.
Halloween night. I mean, Halloween night. Yeah, the first episode we had back, we had Amy and Adam and Dustin there with
Yeah,
us. Missouri State
yeah.
Pen. I mean, that was our second time there.
Gotta
Yeah,
go
that
back and
was
watch that one.
yeah. If you haven't seen that, of course, I think they're all on Discovery Plus. They're not anything else other than Discovery Plus, are they?
Yeah, I believe they plan to eventually air them on Travel. I'm not sure when as of right now. But I mean, I did post a code New Year's Day on my Facebook page, which you can get a free month of Discovery Plus. So go check it out.
Yeah. So if you don't do it right now, wait for a couple more episodes to air, then jump in there, and then you can binge watch all of them.
There you go.
Yeah,
Play it smart.
yeah. Of course, like in my case, I can't wait. It's like, I have certain shows that, like, there's some on ID channel that I watch, and like there's one that comes on Wednesday nights, and literally after the show airs on Wednesday, they'll put next week's show on Discovery Plus. So I'm already like going on there, and I'm just like, gotta go watch it. No, so I'll watch it a week ahead.
Streaming has changed. First off, it's just exploded. But I mean, it's changed the platform, which changed all of television. If you think about it, I find most of the time I don't watch anything on the regular channels. I watch everything streaming because I don't have to deal with commercials and all that stuff. So I enjoy streaming, especially on some of the apps where you're able to download the show. Because especially getting on a plane and stuff, I can have 3, 4 episodes that I can watch or something.
Well, Discovery Plus is pretty cheap too.
It really is. Honestly, I think it's what, $5.99 and $6.99, and $6.99 is with no commercials. I mean, because you turn on a television show now. I mean, an hour-long show. When we started Ghost Hunters, it was like 14 minutes of commercials per hour. But now I think it's up to like 17, 18 minutes an
Right.
hour, and you're like, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So I hate commercials.
Yeah,
And you
now
mentioned that your time that your show is actually on is about 42 minutes or so now, and people don't realize there's a lot more goes into that than 42 minutes. And when I was watching Steve and Dave interview the guy at the prison, that was about a 2-minute segment. And I bet that probably went 3 or 4 hours, but it was
Oh,
only like it wasn't even 2 minutes.
well, most of these cases that we're on, I mean, we're there a minimum of a week, so we could be there 2 weeks or more. And we've got 6 camera guys going and so forth. So you can imagine, and we're there for 12 to 14 hours a day. So imagine all the footage that doesn't make it.
how long does it take you to go through that footage for one episode? I'm curious. I'm just curious about that.
Oh man, it takes days to go through all the evidence and stuff. It takes days. I mean, we're going through the stuff nonstop. And a lot of times we're trying to analyze. So, like that night that we investigate, the next day during the day, we'll try to go through as much of it as possible. But yeah, so it takes a long time, and we're constantly splitting it up. And like this day, I might do all the audio, and Steve does all the DVR, and Dave does all the camcorders, and Sherry's doing it. But then we also got to find time to go and do our research on the property and stuff. So I mean, a lot goes into each investigation.
Yeah.
That popped up, and I have to agree with Sean.
Oh well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's we do the best we
Yeah.
can. Bottom line.
Now, you guys do all your own. You guys go through all the evidence yourself and go through it, or you have anybody else that can do it for you?
Nope, we go through it all ourselves, and because you always need to be concerned. I never want somebody to go through my evidence and then be like, "Here's what you caught." No, I mean, there's been shows in the past that were notorious for giving their evidence to production, and production would tell them what they caught. That's not us.
Mm.
We go through our stuff. I mean, production's not even allowed to touch our stuff. So,
Yeah, I mean, things can kind of be manipulated and changed around to
and the
not actually be.
nice thing is, we don't have to worry about that because again, we weren't casted to make the show, and we're in charge, and so we don't have to worry about that. but you never want to have that chance. I mean, I never want to sit there and say, "Oh, let somebody who wasn't involved in the team go through this evidence, and this is what they found." No, and we're not going to put ourselves in that predicament.
And I think that's what makes you guys look so good as far as integrity goes, because the way you do things. I mean, it's you're up front, you're taking care of it all yourself, rather than hand it to somebody else who might actually go through and maybe input something that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, and we're never gonna put ourselves in a situation where we'd have to concern ourselves with that. It's just not
So,
working to us.
yeah.
Nope.
So, like, to give other people like a little bit of a sense of things, like they see all the paranormal side from the TV shows and stuff. What are some hobbies and stuff like outside of the paranormal? What do you like to do?
Oh, geez. Well, I fish, I jet ski, I boat. I love doing woodwork. I mean, my whole garage is a wood shop. Um, you know, I I'm an avid shooter. I own guns. I go to the shooting range. I mean, my daughter Satori, she was like number two all state for shooting. So grown up with that. Yeah, I mean, I constantly build stuff. I mean, you name it. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm with my sons who are, all three of my boys are football players. They're state championship wrestlers. So definitely keep myself busy.
Sounds like it.
Now the flyer that I put together, I had a picture of you standing in front of the car. Is that your car?
That was, yes. I ended up getting rid of it, and but that was the actual car from the movie Christine.
Oh, okay.
So if you ever saw the movie Christine, actually I've got the little one right there, but it was the one that they were driving the Charger. They pulled up behind Christine, got out, carved into her, got in the car, and it's also the one you see drive away at the end. But it was the car from that movie. So
Oh,
I
that's
ended up
cool.
buying it in auction, had it
Cool.
for years, loved it, but it's just I wasn't getting a chance to really use it enough. So I ended up selling it to the guy who runs prisons out in California.
Yeah, I know what that's all about. Not having cars that you don't have time to mess with. I've got about a dozen of them like that. So
Well, my next one I'm looking for an old Mustang Fastback. That's my next one I want to try to grab.
those things have gone up like crazy in price.
That's why I haven't grabbed one yet.
If I come across one, that's what I do for a living is collector car insurance. So if I come across one, somebody trying to sell at a reasonable price, I'll keep you in
You
mind.
got my info. Give me a shout.
Yeah, every once in a while you find somebody that calls me and says, "Hey, I got this car. I need to add to my policy. I'm going to sell it." And unfortunately, that's how I bought a couple of them too. So
Yep, I know how that goes.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Robin would be the one to talk to. He might be able to actually find something for you.
And Barb is asking if my daughter and her boyfriend will be on the season. Yes, Cody and Satori will be on an episode in Nebraska, and I mean it's a phenomenal episode. So make sure you check that one out.
I think Jeremy. Oops, that's
And that's
Jeremy.
the family members. Absolutely. I mean, all three of my daughters, Samantha, Haley, Satori, they've all investigated. My sons, they graduate this year, and we've always made it where the most important thing is school. And when they're done with school, then then if they want to get involved, they can. But it's always been about school first. So I mean, so we'll see where the boys stand as soon as they're done.
Just kind of looking in here some of the questions and stuff and see if we can bring up kind of try to answer some more of the questions that we have in here maybe.
I'm not sure what happened there.
Wow,
There's
yeah,
two of Robin.
you just cloned yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Tell
Let's see if we
everybody
can
how
get
to
rid of
do
one of
it.
these.
Tell everybody
we
how
go.
to do it.
I hate that when all of a sudden my screen goes blank and it's like, crap, I'm the one that put this up. I hope they'll still be able to talk. But yeah, it was like it just left me.
Hey, at least you didn't freeze up.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what happens. You live in a haunted theater. So.
There was like I was looking at there was a couple of these questions on here, like I can't it's not letting me scroll up here to find them, but there's a few of them on here that I was going to mention, and I don't know why I can't scroll up for some reason, but it's not letting me. I'm having some issues.
Mike, you always have issues.
I
Must-
know.
must
It's
be
the
using-
hat.
You must be using a Windows computer.
No, actually, I'm using a MacBook, actually. I don't know why I'm having trouble with it tonight, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one you're looking for.
Somebody asked, are there any paranormal shows that you watch? Not really. I got to be honest. Not. It's yeah. I don't, because I never want to scrutinize other people's investigations.
You know, but it's kind of like the mailman that doesn't go for a walk on his day off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah. Jason, what's your biggest goal for the year? I mean, this is my son's senior year, so they graduate this year, and then I've got no more kids in school. So it's about spending as much quality time with them before they're off to college.
This doesn't happen often, so I'll have to throw it out there. But Mike's mom asked a good question.
Honestly, no. I've offered things to come home with me. I mean, I can investigate from the luxury of my couch. I think it'd be great. But no, I've never really had anything follow me home. But thank you, Patsy, and your son's awesome.
You know, I had a time that you was talking about Waverly Hills before, and like that's actually the first time we met years ago was Waverly Hills, because I was one of the guides. I was doing the private investigations and stuff at night, and like after she mentioned that, it made me think that there was one time that I went home after one of the groups was in there overnight, and I went home. I go to bed. It's early in the morning because like it's 8 to 4 a.m. for the private investigations at Waverly when I was there. And I go back, I go to sleep, and I hear something in the kitchen. I actually wake up at one point and look, and I see like a shadow in the hallway, and I'm like, okay. And I hear a cabinet door, and like I was just like, I'm it's my mind playing tricks on me. Go to sleep, get up the next day, I go in, the cabinet door's open. I'm like, I don't remember opening the cabinet door. So I've had a few times, I've had some interesting things that, but it stopped like shortly after,
Yeah.
like a day or two, and it just quit.
See, Robert says, how do your children deal with your notoriety? Well, see, I think the good part about living in Rhode Island is that I live in such a small state that people are just so used to seeing me everywhere. So I'm always at Walmart or Home Depot or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's the boys in Satori have grown up with it. That's all they've ever known. Where Samantha and Haley are a little older. Yeah, they knew a time before Dad was famous. But I mean, my kids have been really great about it, and 99% of the people we run into are very respectful. So I greatly appreciate that. So I mean, it's definitely it's different, but it hasn't been bad for us.
It's nice that when you can go to these events and stuff. I mean, you as well as everyone else, on the team are very approachable.
Yeah,
Laid back.
I just walk around. I mean, I go hang out. I'm walking through the lobbies. It's where a lot of people will go and hide in their room until they're needed. That's not me. I go down. I'm just randomly walking around. Steve's with me. Dave's with me. Sherry's with me. We're just hanging out in the lobby talking to people because that's what it's about. I mean, people make the TV. TV does not make the people.
Yeah. Yeah, and like going back to like the last convention that was going on, it's good to know, that everyone hung out, and because you're more about the fans than about, oh, I have to make sure I get paid before I even set foot on the floor. It's cool that everyone kind of came together and just like, I know there was a few things that didn't go so well and stuff, but I mean, you guys were out hanging out with everybody and kind of did your own thing and made it for the fans.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the least thing I'm concerned about is the money aspect of it. It's because we showed up to that event knowing that things were already screwed. And could I have just flown home instead and said the hell with it? Yeah, but I'm not going to do that. So I mean, we hung out and we made sure that we hung out with everybody and met up with everybody, and because that's what it's about. I mean, there was a lot of people who paid money to come see us, and the least thing we wanted to do is leave them high and dry.
Yeah, you already had to warm up with that whole situation in Fort Wayne too. So, after you get to Vegas, it's the same situation as Fort Wayne.
I mean, it happened twice, and it's funny because I didn't do events for years, and Sherry and Steve and them had asked, they're like, "Hey, do some events." I was like, "All right, I'll do some events," and it's like, yeah, 2 in a row. We're like, "Whew, all right." But
Now I know why.
yeah, but the bottom line is the fans. The fans had a good time, and that's what it was about. I mean, it's all about making sure that. Well, I just don't want to see anybody get screwed. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And from the events I've been at with the celebrities and all from the TV shows, I've never seen the fans really get crazy with approaching people and like wanting stuff. And unless you guys have been approached like in the middle of while you're eating dinner or something like that, but for the most part, I think most people have been respectful to the celebrities that have shown up.
Absolutely, except for sometimes where like the last event where I had to remove a lady's hand that found its way down the back of my pants. I had to give another lady back her room card that she had dug in my pocket. I mean, but like 99% of the people are wonderful. There's some that definitely take it a little too far, but I mean that's just not the path I'm going down. Bottom line. So, and again, you guys see me. It's I'd love to have a good time and have fun and hang out with everybody, but there's just lines I will not cross.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of food, Sandy asked, "What's favorite food while ghost hunting?"
Favorite food while ghost hunting? Oh my gosh!
What's the go-to snack?
Go-to snack. Well, one of my I love the. Let's see. It's
He's got a stash.
Chili Fritos, hot and spicy Cheez-Its. Those are my usual go-to snacks. But I try to watch out for those now. Like at one point, geez, when I was doing ghost hunters, at one point I was like, I got up to like 250 something pounds. Now I'm somewhere in between like 180, 190. So I try to keep myself healthy. It's especially trying to keep up with my 3 sons.
It's hard to like stay completely healthy with what you eat and like yeah.
I mean every day, every morning I get up, I hit the treadmill, do 4 or 5 miles on that, lift some weights, and the best thing is again having my 3 boys because they're football players, they're wrestlers. It's they so I just try to keep myself in shape so I can even keep up with them.
Yep, knew what that was all about when I was playing hockey quite a bit. Unfortunately, I hadn't been able to play hockey with the heart problems I've had, so had to kind of back off of that. But it's time to start doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I used to fight in martial art tournaments for years and all stuff like that. So it's just I used to run road races, so it's all about just trying to keep that healthiness going.
So when do you guys start shooting for your for next season?
I can't say that.
I
cannot say that. And who said there was another season?
Well, if there wouldn't be, then Pilgrims and Discovery Plus have just blown it completely themselves. So.
Well, yeah. So moving on. Next question.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see then, I guess, and see what pops up in the near future, I guess.
Yep. Do you guys do any investigations, just like taps? Just local type investigations at all?
Absolutely. So there's, of course, when we're filming. I mean, so there's a whole Taps home team, and Tori, Cody, and Tracy, and all them. I mean, they're always investigating, even when we're doing cases that are being televised. So, and when we're not filming, and we investigate as well. So Taps has always existed. I mean, they existed even when we were doing Ghost Nation, and now with doing Ghost Hunters again. Yeah, of course. So Taps, yeah. There's a Taps for TV, and there's this whole Taps home team, And then there's a TAPS family, which is 70 some odd groups across the United States and 14 other countries.
Are you guys still taking those groups into your TAPS family?
Yep. That's if you go to the tapsfamily.com, you can send an application right there, and there's TAPS family managers who handle a lot of that stuff. But yep, I mean it's great bunch of people, and you can find a group in pretty much anywhere. So
How do you decide what locations you're going to go to?
we base it on the type of activity, how active it is. I mean, if their most recent claim was a year ago, then it's really not a priority to get there. So if it's active right now and a lot of things are going on, then we try to head right to that location. If there's children involved, it jumps to the front of the list because, of course, being a father, the least thing I want is to have children in a home being terrified.
Are there episodes in the season that's going to be any homes or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We have residential and of course there's been a mix because you got to remember COVID's kind of made things a little tough,
Yeah.
and where you got to be careful because you don't want to bring something to somebody's home or get infected and bring something home. So, but yeah, we have some residential cases and commercial locations that have called us in.
Do you guys have to take a lot of different precautions and all with the COVID situation with the group and the crew?
We haven't had any problems, but I mean, we were taking tests every week while we were on the road, even with being vaccinated. And of course, we're going to a location. We want to make sure that they're vaccinated and tested. And I mean, our crew make sure they've always got their masks on while they're filming. So yeah, it's everybody's been very cautious because the least thing you want is to have a COVID outbreak and then all of a sudden production gets shut down for weeks.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
or if somebody's becoming infected, now you're stuck in a hotel for 10 days without being able to do anything.
So out of curiosity, they're not going to make us wait for like a whole week with episodes popping up, or we're going back to remember I was saying earlier that, I have shows that I wait and I watch the one and then I go a week ahead. They're not going to make us wait a week between each episode, are they?
I can't answer that, Mike. I don't know.
No, it's not sure. Yeah.
I don't control Discovery Plus, but
Yeah. I was just curious if maybe you had the inside scoop, if maybe.
As of right now, all I know is that we're on pretty much a new episode gets uploaded every Saturday. Yeah, that's not what you wanted to hear. I know that.
No, it's not.
Well, but
If you want them,
it's not.
or you want them every night or something, or what?
Where
That
Netflix would
works.
drop 12 episodes on, and you can binge watch the whole thing in a day, and that's great. But also, it's like I just watched all of Cobra Kai in like a night, and you're like, oh damn! I waited a year for it to come back, and I just watched it all in one day.
Yeah, that's a good point. It kind of messes it up in a sense because then you have to wait, like what we were just talking about. We have to wait for you to announce the next season. If we binge like all, the whole season, and then we got to wait on you to announce, hey, there's a season coming up. You're going to film again. Hint, hint.
Let's just
Forget
say
it.
that the Return of Ghost Hunters has been very well received.
Yeah.
Now, do you go out and look at the ratings and all yourself to see how it's doing?
I get filled in on the ratings and so forth. People are very happy that Ghost Hunters is back. I can tell you that much.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and we're happy. I mean, we're extremely happy that that the fans have stayed true and stuck with us for so long.
I always kind of wonder if a Saturday night was going to be a good night or something like that with the shows.
Well, I mean, when we did Ghost Nation, we were shattering records when we were airing on Saturday nights, and Ghost Hunter. I mean, being on streaming, I think it really, because people can tune in anytime during the day, during the night, the next day, or at any point. So it's changed the whole landscape of television. It really has.
That just made me think of one other question I have. I know, like, when these episodes air on TV, you have so many days to watch it, like for the ratings and stuff. is that the same way? Like it's not probably really the same way, is it? Like with streaming?
No, where on television they usually it's live plus threes and stuff. So how many people tuned in live, and how many people watched it within the first 3 days, and
Yeah.
so forth. I mean, streaming, it's just it's one of those things where it becomes like a top trending thing for days on end. I mean, that's just a huge thing,
Yeah.
and it's always there. I mean, I like the idea of streaming because now, I mean, you got 13 seasons of Ghost Hunters on Discovery Plus right now. You got to think. I mean, if you'd have to spend hundreds of dollars on DVDs, have a DVD player, and everything else.
Yep.
Put it in, get to that part. I mean, now you literally just a click of a button and you've got whatever episode you want.
Yep. Love it.
And it's always there, and it looks so much better and it sounds better on the streaming platforms. It's not compressed like it is for television and so forth. So, I mean, it just looks great.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you've been on another show earlier tonight too, so I know we've kind of got that hour underway here. But
that was a long day for me. Been going since 4 a.m.
Oh wow!
So where can people see you? You got anything coming up here soon? Different events and conventions?
Yeah. I know we've got some conventions coming up. I honestly don't have that on hand, but I'll be doing a Bigfoot one out in Oregon this year. We got a New Jersey Paraunity in July. So we've got some great ones coming up.
And you post this stuff on social media and stuff.
Yeah, and I always put it out there and stuff, and so people can check that right out on my Facebook page and stuff like that.
Super. So. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing everything with us and with the people out here. It's been great. It's been fun talking to you, and as always. And I think the first time I met you was in Michigan this year. We talked on the radio show that you had a couple years ago, but first time I personally met you was in Michigan. So it's been fun meeting you and talking to you and getting to know you a little bit more in person and all than had in the past just on the radio.
Well, it's been an honor too, guys. I mean, just getting a chance to hang out and talk and talk outside of it all has been wonderful. Getting to know each other more and more. So guys, thanks for having me on. I look forward to
thanks for being on.
I look forward to meeting up again soon. And until then, stay safe. Happy 2022, and to everybody tuning in, thank you so much.
Same to you.
And love to you all.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening.
Guys. Thanks.
Alrighty.
And we'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay, well, that's great having Jason on tonight, and I think you got a few other guys from the show coming up here sometime soon, and so looking forward to that. And next week we've got Jessica Potter. For those of you that do not know Jessica's a psychic medium from out east, and I talked to her about coming on because I'm very skeptical with a lot of psychics, and so I want to shoot her some questions that most psychics would probably click off and just leave us show, but she's like, nope, ask me it all, bring them on. So I was like, okay, so we're looking forward to that. So that'll be fun.
Sounds interesting.
So, but appreciate everybody joining us tonight and listen to Mike and I talk with Jason, and we will we'll be on here next week then.
Yep. Talk to you guys soon next week. Yeah.
All right. Have a good evening.
Bye, guys.
My name is Mike, and I'm the founder of the Lost Limbs Foundation. The Lost Limbs Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides assistance to amputee children in need of prosthetics. I started the charity after my own struggles after my leg being amputated just above the knee. Prosthetics cost thousands of dollars, and the average lifespan is 5 to 7 years on a prosthetic. Kids are constantly growing, so they'll go through multiple prosthetics throughout their life. This is the prosthetic leg that I use, and the cost was about $70,000. The Rhodes Hotel is in Atlanta, Indiana, and is owned and operated by the Lost Limbs Foundation. We are currently doing photo shoots, ghost hunts, and special events to help raise money for the charity. For more information, you can go to lostlimbsfoundation.org. With your help, we can help these kids one step at a time.